So this is my video 72, and I'm going to start with my translations of some poems of Maxim Bogdanovich. The first one is his last poem, which consists only of 4 lines. He wrote this poem on with a pencil on the cover of his first printed book during his lifetime, and this book was printed in Vilna, in the publishing house of Martin Kuchta. So he used his particular name to create a rhyme in the original poem. So I used this Kuchta's name to create rhyme in the translation. The sea is azure, the sun is golden, and here I'm dying in this white building. I'm not alone, cause my hands are holding my book produced by Sir Kuchta's printing. The next translations are of the poems that I read before, and I just want to record them once more in my memory, because when I reread it again, it looks really cool, even though I myself translated them. So this is from the Slutsky bells, or maybe the weavers of Slutsk. She has been taken for the fashion from her loved parents and her friends, and locked inside the master's mansion to weave his precious golden belts. Enduring all those heavy labors, abandoning her girlish dreams, she worked as hard as other slave girls and braids the oriental schemes. Behind the walls the birds are singing, the sun is shining in the sky, her thoughts reach out, without thinking, toward some place where spring has come. The air's transparent like a crystal, the river flows around the hill, the ears of wheat gleam in the distance, lots of cornflowers grace the field. The pine trees stand, not ever fading, forgetting Persian ornaments, and lost in thoughts, the weavers braiding the blue cornflowers on her lands. Well, the next one is his romance about the Venus the star. Venus the star shines above the horizon, making the bright thoughts arrive. Do you remember when we met each other? Venus the star shone above. That's when I started to look for our Venus in the night sky when the stars shone above. That's when I felt the attraction between us. That's when I started to love. But it is time to depart permanently. Maybe we're doomed to be always apart. I love you so much. I kiss you so gently. But it is time to depart. In that unknown distant place I will dream us, holding each other in a soft embrace. Every night I'll fix my eyes on a Venus, in that unknown distant place. From time to time, look at it from the distance. That's where our glances will finally meet, so that our love will arise for an instant. From time to time, look at it. Another translation of another sonnet about the Egyptian land. Within Egyptian land, so dry and hot, beside the Nile which carries its blue waters, there stands the temple devoted to a goddess. Within they found some grains inside the pot. Despite the grains were dry for 1,000 years, The living force, which waited in a slumber, awakened to the spring sounds of the thunder, and graced the fields with lots of gold-bit ears. Here is your sign, forgotten land of fathers. I hope a people's spirit which we bothered to shake up will not fall asleep again, but it will hurry forward like the torrent, which managed to emerge through soil and sand, and now it rushes forth so loud and potent. And the last one is the freestyle translation of just some poem by Bogdanovich. One day our hearts will stop their beats. Let us outlive the pyramids. Let's live our lives the most fulfilled. There is no time for us to grieve. Let's floor the gas and gain the speed. Don't be afraid to drift. Let's live as fully as we can. We can't relive this life again. And being always busy with a hearth and work, at 96, just with no pain, we'll cease to breathe and cross the river Styx. So this is the last poem for today, and now I'm going to switch, I think, to talking. I'm not going to comment Swift scripts for today. I'm just going to talk about the stuff. Maybe I talked about it somewhere when I recorded my videos in the beginning, but now I have the power to talk more fluently, though the amount of words I use does not change much. Did not change much, but at least I can use these words faster. I can find these words faster, and I can give more information using the same amount of words than I did there in my first video. Well, actually I have the idea of re-listening from time to time the videos that I made in the first dozen of my videos, then the next, and so on, and retold the same stories, but in using my current language, my current spoken skills. So I think, well, I have the option of talking about some moments from mangas or animes that I watched, like Free Ren, Beyond the Journey's End, or The Parasite, or Solo Leveling, the manhwa. Well, I think I'll start with the Solo Leveling. It's like with animes, when I really thought and I really believed that the Alchemist, Fullmetal Alchemist, the Brotherhood, was the best anime in terms of the plot, the thematics, because anime in the terms which we know them, are more about they directed to the teenagers, the boys from maybe 12 to 15, 17 years old. That's why Naruto was so popular, because Naruto himself had this age from about, 10 years old till he became 15 years old. But Fullmetal Alchemist has all the necessary elements to to be the best anime, like the world itself, the plot, the family bonds, the characters, the fights, everything. And when Frieren came with her first season, and it was about fantasy, but it was about recalling your past. So yeah, I really agree that Frieren is the best anime of all times, even though it's only about the first season, and it's not. I don't think that this manga and this anime will be ever completed, and I don't think that the next seasons will be as strong as the first one. But the idea is really, really strong. So I absolutely agree with those guys who put Frieren to the throne. But for my personal experience, Fairy Tail was my best forever anime, even though the plot is really bad, and each new arc crosses the ideas of the previous arcs. Yeah, and some ideas are really terrible, but when it was my entrance to the world of animes, especially English voiced animes, because I can be 100% confident or sure that all these combinations of the beautiful voice acting plus very, very bright pictures, lots of different colors, green, yellow, red, blue, compared to the more monochrome black and white colors of Bleach series. The endings and openings were wonderful. The music they used to create this atmosphere, the soundtrack, the Ost, this folk, medieval, mythical music, the animation of endings and openings, all this stuff, it was wonderful. And yeah, maybe till the first 100 episodes, until they returned from this 10 something island, is the best experience of anime for me in whole. But then the plot was later. The plot was really bad. Like they made this huge feel arc about some clock or something, and it was just a compilation of the ideas from the previous arcs. It was not bad, but there was no original ideas in this stuff. But one of the soundtracks, Glitter, is really one of the best soundtrack endings. Glitter is one of the best endings for the whole series, for the whole 300 episodes in general. Then there were not very cool arcs, like all the what is it, the dragon games or something. They were not really cool. Tartarus was quite alright. I like some small fillers with the endings, one of which became my favorite anime song in general, like You Don't Let Me Down. And of course, the last arc with this, I don't know, fight against some Arboreus Empire was really, really weak, but because the characters were the same and the voicing was the same, so it was really cool for me anyway. So I agree with the guys who give Fairy Tail about 7 points out of 10, but personally for me it's one of the best animes, the way it influenced me. The same way maybe Berserk is the best manga in terms of the plot and especially in terms of the art. Well, actually I didn't read it, but I like Fullmetal Alchemist as well. It's really good in the style, in the dialogues, in everything. And during the 10 years of the publishing, it was consistent, compared, for example, to the end of Attack on Titan. But no matter how good Alchemist, for example, my best manga is Solo Leveling. Again, the first half is the perfect one, and maybe till 100 and the first half. Then when the fight against the national level American hunter was kind of cool, but the whole fight with the elders, with the patriarchs, was not so impressive for me, and the ending was really weak or bad. But the last 20 chapters, when Sang Jin-woo aged himself from the teenage boy till his current age, then he had the son, and he trained his son to be the heir to his power, and the end when he just continued to lead the endless fights against the enemies that came to Earth is quite cool. But the first 120, I think, chapters were really the best, till the moment when he just killed this insects, and then insects, and then when he saved his sister at school and so on. So anyway, from time to time I reread this manga, and I feel the same emotions rereading the best moments that I like, and there are lots of moments that I like, and it's really cool, as I did when I read this manhwa for the first time, when I discovered this Solo Leveling thing in general, and I just I successfully went through the first 10 chapters. Were not so cool because it was about Sang Jin-woo being the weakest hunter when they entered this double dungeon, and then when he discovered this thing about avoiding the deaths from the statues, but in the end he died. So these 10 chapters were not so cool. But starting from the moment when he awoke and discovered that he could see these message boxes from the system and no one could see them. From this moment, yeah, I understood that this is the real cool thing. And I started to read the stuff at 20. I remember this very well. It was in August 2023. I started to read this thing at 22 in the evening, and I couldn't get from the chair, stand up from the chair until 7 o'clock in the morning. And I only covered about 80 chapters out of 200 chapters. And I at once went to bed, and later I finished the reading of this manga, maybe during the week, but at some point I read for the next 5 hours in a row. I think it was maybe when he saved his sister from at school and when he fought against this giant patriarch inside the S gate, or maybe even against this national level hero. But then I read from time to time and finished all the stuff. But anyway, the feeling of this manga still remains, and I think it will always remain with me. It will always remain with me. The same way I have a very, very warm feelings towards the fairy tale, especially towards the first 100 episodes of fairy tale. So, I think I'm going to just retell the plot of Solo Leveling manhwa, the way I recall it, I remember it, the way my schoolmate at the university retold me the plot of the Death Note during 2 hours when we had no lecturers at the university. I didn't understand much except for the fact that I learned that L was killed, and he, my schoolmate, did not like the part about L heads. Anyway, let's go with it. So, as I said, for the first 10 chapters, Sang Jin-woo came with his party to this double dungeon, and there he died. Well, first the statues cut off his neck, no, his foot. And then he died on the special altar in the center of the dungeon. The dungeon had the form of a round hole, and the statues stayed along the perimeter of this hole. And then all the statues came forth towards this altar, and eventually he died, but he managed to save several of his comrades who ran away while he remained at this altar. But at the moment when he died, he woke up at the hospital. He was completely intact, healthy, with the foot on the place without any scratches. And as I said, he saw this message box screen which was invisible for anyone else. And the members of the civilian team came to check him in terms of being reawakened, because sometimes this happens. Yeah, Uh, well, the rules of the game were explained later in this manhwa, but because I know it quite well, I can say right now that there was an ordinary world, and at some point 10 years ago, the gates, some special portals, which were called the gates, started to appear throughout the earth in different countries. And from these gates, the monsters started to appear, and the usual magical monsters and the usual weapons like guns or bombs could not damage these monsters, but at the same time, among the population, the phenomenon of reawakening started to happen. Like the normal people started to acquire the special powers, and only these special people, who were called hunters, could use their own powers to fight against these monsters. So later the raids, the teams were organized when 10 people in the team could enter the gate. Then they went through the portal to some dungeon, like dungeon, and there they fought different monsters, and in the end they could reach the boss of the dungeon, and they could kill it. And after killing the boss, the dungeon started to close. So their basic task was to clear the gates as soon as to close the gates as soon as they appeared, because if the gates were remained unattended, without being without being taken care of, then at some point, maybe a month later, the dungeon break occurred, and the monsters could go through the gate into the real world, and they started to kill people. That's why as soon as the gate appeared, it should be cleared as soon as possible. And the rules of this new reality was that the power of the hunters could be divided into several levels. The weakest level was E, then D, C, B, A, and there were only a bunch of people who were awakened with S level. There were super hunters. They could handle monsters, for which maybe 100 A-level hunters were too weak. And of course, for example, D-level hunter could easily kind of kill E-level hunter, but it was impossible vice versa. And the hunter could not change his level. Being level C, he could never reach level B, but he could improve his physical abilities at his level C and reach the top of level C. But anyway, he will be inferior to the level B hunter. So in this aspect, this reality was unfair, and In general, there were 9 S-level hunters in whole South Korea for the last 10 years since the gates started to appear, and the last hunter who was awakened as S-class was this girl. It was 2 years ago. So S-hunters created their own guilds, and they recruited A, B hunters. Sometimes they were successful to recruit some S-hunters, S-class hunters. And there was the 5th guild, maybe it was the 4th guild, which had only A and B level hunters without any S level hunters, but it doesn't matter. Even this guild could gather all its A class hunters, and they could clear A class gates. Maybe not. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, so this is the setting for the story, and this setting was shown later somewhere at the 50th chapter, maybe at the 70th, it doesn't matter. Anyway, Sun Jin-woo awoke several years ago as E-class hunter. He was the weakest E-class hunter in the whole South Korea. His father was a hunter as well, but he disappeared. Somewhere in the gate 5 years ago or so. Since then, his mother got into the internal slumber. This was a rare illness when a person just got into the coma and he never woke up, but he was quite intact. It was not the normal coma. It was this coma that was caused by all these magical fields, influences that existed in the world right now. And when the hunters killed the enemies dropped the crystals, and of course there were lots of crystals inside of the gate. So the hunters dug these crystals and they throw them away, and these crystals were used to produce the magical weapons, and then these weapons were used to kill these monsters inside the new gates. Anyway, Sang Jin-woo awoke and he saw these messages from some system, and he became the player. He did not know what that meant, but this something that communicated with him through these messages called him a player, and his first everyday task was to do, I think, 100 push-ups, 100 crunches, 100 sit-ups, and 10 kilometers run. When he and the system said that it will put the penalty on him, but for the first time, when he avoided all these tasks, he was teleported to the desert area with lots of serpentides, I don't know, serpentides, and he just ran away from them during 4 hours, where this was the time that he should survive in this area. Since then, he always did his routine, and even being in the hospital, his body really changed. He became stronger and he became taller, and the nurses were kind of thrilled by his appearance. The members of the civilian organization came to him to check whether he reawakened, but his initial level was E again, so it was the false alarm. And yeah, he took care of his sister, who studied at school while his mother was in the hospital, and his father was missing, and he paid for his mother's caring, for the caring of his mother, and for his and his sister's food and so on. Okay, hunter. He worked as a hunter. Okay. So he started to get levels from performing these everyday tasks like running, push-ups, and so on. And at some point, he get the special key to the hidden dungeon somewhere at the subway station. He went there, and there he had his first fight, first with the lots of wolves, which he successfully killed. When he leveled up, all his stats, like health, stamina, were refreshed to 100%, and he always get some points from the leveling up, and he put these points into physical agility abilities and so on. And in the bottom of this dungeon, he fought against a huge snake. He could not pierce its hide, its skin with his knife, but he managed to strangle the snake by pushing its body with his arms, with his hands. Yeah, he almost died, but after that he leveled up. He got some useful weapon, the dagger that could poison the enemy and could paralyze it. And he became more confident in his powers. So this was his first real fight, his first real dungeon. After that, when he got out of the station, he discovered that it was the emergency. There was a dungeon break on the street. Most of the monsters were killed by the hunters, but there was a boss, a golem. It was a golem of level, I think it was level D, and the team of hunters who were gathered randomly, because they were just passers-by. They tried to defend this golem, but they had only 1D level tank, and he could kind of defend the other players who were of level E, and there was the girl of B level who always cured Sun Jinwoo, and whom he saved in that double dungeon, but he could not overcome her mental problems after after encountering with those statues in the double dungeon, so she could not be a good healer even for these D and E level hunters. And then Sun Jinwoo used the remaining part of his sword, just the handle and the part of the blade. He threw it from the far distance into the monster, and his throw was enough to break the defense of this monster, and the hunters killed the monster really fast. So this D level tank, he noted that the monster was invincible a moment ago, and then suddenly the monster collapsed because his defense was down. And when he asked the military man about who could throw this broken blade into the monster, the military man pointed to the place where Sun Jinwoo was, but he was not there at the moment. So D rank tank believed that it was a warrior of a very high level who threw this sword, but Sun Jinwoo thought that the monster was weakened by this fight before, because he could not, with his abilities, put such a great damage to the monster. And after that, well, I think, because then goes the part that I don't like, and I really don't reread it much. Then he came, he joined some party. Yeah, there was this restriction that only 10 the team of 10 hunters could enter the dungeon, the gate. And in manga, in animation, there were only 8 people, because in manhwa, the author, the painter draw only 8 people in the team as the minimum requirement. Anyway, it was for the protection of the hunters, because 1, 2, even 3 hunters could be easily killed inside the gate. So to enter the gate, he should join some team, and he found this team. There were 2 vacant places, and he came, and another boy came with of level D. He was the son of a very rich businessman, and his father bought him a very rich, a very expensive armor that has magical qualities and could really improve his D level abilities, at least put them to the highest D level as possible. And they joined this team. They went through all the dungeon. He warned everybody of the approaching of the insects from above, and he had this feeling of the lizards who tried to the lizards who tried to make him some damage maybe. And when they reached the boss cave with the huge spider, these all other guys just left San Jinwoo and this guy in the armor in this cave. They blocked the exit, and this way they awoke the spider. The plan was simple. They always had 2 vacant places. Then they went through the dungeon and they left the guys against the boss. The guys were killed. The boss later went to his sleep. Then the remaining team came. They took off the crystals. They took off the equipment from these 2 guys. Then they killed the monster, and they got lots of profit from all this stuff. And the same scheme was applied here, but San Jinwoo fought against this spider very successfully. He was quite fast until his stamina reached the maximum level, and he was just immobilized by his own system conditions, restrictions. But he had this daily bonus refresh thing, which he got from fulfilling his every daily routine requirements. So he refreshed his health and he put his stamina to 0, and he successfully defeated this spider on his own. The guy in the armor believed that the San Jinwoo was the false ranker who said that he was who intentionally lowered his level to E, but he was like C level, and then these false rankers usually killed the other guys in the dungeon because they could not be caught. Then the rest of the team came, and 6 guys fought. First tried to kill San Jinwoo, but he successfully killed all of them, and in the end he killed this SC level guy who reinforced himself. And when San Jinwoo killed him, he later learned that this C level guy had a brother who was S level hunter and who moved to the USA, but he definitely came to South Korea to kill those 2 guys who survived while his brother died. And there was no way to stop S-level hunters because they could easily defeat A-level hunters, and no one can damage S-level hunters with the ordinary weapons, even the bombs. Okay, and while he fought these 6 bad guys, the system gave San Jinwoo the warning the urgent quest that he should kill them all, or he will be killed by the system itself, or just by them. So it was the first time when he killed 6 people, and his mental something in his head started to change as he became more cold, more his emotions started to die one by one. He was more like the real player in the game who killed when he had to survive. But he never killed anyone on his own, at his own will. Anyway, after that, the guy in the armor, was thankful, thought that Sang Jin-woo could kill him, but he didn't, and he was very grateful to Sang Jin-woo for his survival, and to the civilian team who came to investigate this incident. They believed that this guy in the armor who was D-level, he could actually defeat the monster on his own. And next, what was next? I'm not sure about the next stuff. I think the next stuff is when Sang Jin-woo came. I'm not sure. No, he could not. So I think the next time Sang Jin-woo joined the team for the second gate in his awakened state. And in this team, there was this girl B-level healer whom he saved, and the swordsman guy who lost his left arm, and another guy who just ran away. And they were all together, and there were some convicted prisoners on this team. And it turned out that this C-level guy killed all these prisoners because he was paid to kill one of them, because he killed the daughter of one man who paid to this C-level hunter. But this C-level hunter decided to kill everybody, so he killed the guy who ran out of the double dungeon and left Sang Jin-woo to die. And then he fought against the swordsman and the B-level hunter. Well, yeah, this B-level girl tried to support the swordsman, but she was not very successful. And this C-level assassin almost killed the swordsman. Then Sang Jin-woo came into the fight, and he successfully was on par, I think, with this C-level assassin. He refreshed himself, but in the end, C-level assassin used his camouflage skill when he was invisible, and he was untrackable for most of the low-level creatures or hunters. But Sang Jin-woo used he didn't know about this yet, but he used his shadow something feeling, and he tracked the guy in his camouflage skill, and he defeated it. So the guy guessed 2 things about Sang Jin-woo. That first, that Sang Jin-woo killed people before in the dungeon. That's why he could he was so-called blooded, fighting against him, who also killed lots of people. And the second guess, he discovered that Sun Jinwoo could level up, because in the beginning he was E level hunter, and now he was almost like C level hunter. So the swordsman and B level healer, they covered for Sun Jinwoo. Swordsman, he was D level, or maybe he was C level, I think. Maybe he was C level. Anyway, I don't know, was D. Anyway, he said something like that. Yeah, he just said that B level healer supported him. That's why he killed this assassin. Then the guy who paid to the assassin turned to the police, turned himself to the police, and he I know, affirmed the story by the swordsman. And B level healer girl, she just quitted to be a healer because she could not handle this. She returned somewhere to her native city, and this way, this potential love story between Sun Jinwoo and this B-level hunter healer just ended. And Sun Jinwoo was warned by the civilian team captain, I think, that he was the one who survived the double dungeon, the accident with the spider, when that C-level hunter, who was the brother of S-level hunter from the USA, was killed, and this particular dungeon, when that C or B-level assassin killed everyone except them, three of them. So the captain of the civilian team warned Sun Jinwoo that this S-level hunter would come to him, and he would definitely kill him. It didn't matter whether Sun Jinwoo really killed his brother or was just lucky to survive. Yeah, the only thing that mattered was that Sun Jinwoo was alive and his brother was dead. So Sun Jinwoo decided to become stronger, to fight against that S-level hunter in the future and protect his sister and his friends. So this guy in the armor, the son of the businessman, he suggested a deal to Sun Jinwoo to accompany him during about 20 raids, to clear and close 20 gates. And with this, Sun Jinwoo will get lots of money, like 30 billions of won. And this armor guy will get the opportunity to become the master of his own guild, because to start the guild, the person should have about 20 closed gates as his or her experience. And this is where starts the second favorite part of mine, the second after the first one, when Sun Jinwoo threw the part of this blade into the golem and defeated it. And this is the second moment that I like to reread from time to time, especially because the pictures that were used to draw the characters and the emotion of the characters are really cool. So after having this deal, Sun Jin-woo and this armor guy, or maybe rich son, I will call him the rich son, they came to their first gate, and the rich son gathered 6 other characters to create a team, because they needed 8 persons, 8 people, 8 hunters, to go through the gates. The rich guy just gathered those who could not fight, but who were the licensed hunters, like alcoholic or injured, or too young and weak, like one girl, high school girl of the age of Sun Jin-woo's sister, who became who awoke like E-level hunter, and she wanted to become a hunter. She wanted to drop from the school, so she joined this party. But only 2 of them, Sun Jin-woo and this rich guy, entered the gate, and the members of the party, especially the alcoholic guy, they just believed that they will be killed in the dungeon, in the C-level dungeon, by themselves, right? Yeah, I think C-level dungeon, by themselves, or as he saw them running out of the dungeon quite some short time later, he just decided he agreed. I don't remember the word. Acclaimed, maybe. He gave him his positive opinion about leaving this dungeon because they were too weak for it. But the other guys saw that the gate was closing, so that meant that these 2 guys just defeated the boss all by themselves. And I like the emotions that were shown on the faces of these characters in the party, when they were really surprised who were those 2 guys who cleared the C-level gate all by themselves. So Sun Jin-woo, the rich guy, had the contract with these 6 other hunters to clear to visit 3 gates a day, and then during 7 other days all 20 gates. Yeah, so this Sun Jin-woo and the rich guy got the permission to enter the gate, and just never told anyone that only they two of them cleared the gate by themselves. Yeah, and at this moment, the HR guy from the huge guild, White Tiger Guild, he discovered that Sun Jin-woo was the guy who survived all these 3 incidents, double dungeon, then with the spider, and then with the assassin, when other strong hunters were killed, and he believed that Sun Jin-woo was reawakened, and he wanted to prove that, and he wanted to hire him to his guild. And at some point he came to the place where Sun Jin-woo and his party raided the cave, and he saw that the cave was kind of surrounded by the fence, and 6 characters just stayed there. The girl leaned to the tree, the guy talked on the phone, 2 of them eat something, 2 of them played the chess. So he kind of asked himself whether it was the picnic. Then the girl came and she said that this was the restricted area, and at this moment they were clearing the gate. So this HR guy, he got the idea that only Sun Jin-woo and the other guy entered the gate, and this proved his hunches that Sun Jin-woo was more than just E-level hunter. And what? And then Sun Jin-woo got out of the gate, but he had he got the key to the second dungeon that was prepared by the system. The first one was when he fought the snake boss in the subway and defeated it. And here he got another key, so he decided to postpone the other gates. He said the rich guy, he told the rich guy that he was going to use the next day for his own purpose. For his own purpose. For his own purpose. Oh no. I'm wrong. I thought it was about the castle. It was not about the castle, but maybe it was about the castle. Well, I think he got the job change request. Yeah. He got the job change request. Well, actually, I don't really remember when he got this stuff about the castle. I think I know right now. At some point, he got this key to this fire castle when he fought the huge 3-headed dog at the entrance. He almost was killed by it, but he managed to kill the dog. He decided to go to the castle when he became stronger. And after this, he got the experience through raiding sea-level gates. And after one of the gates, he get the key. He get the quest or the job changing request. Yeah. And it's not my favorite moment, but it's the part which was the final fight in the first season of Solo Level anime adaptation. And I think with that I have like almost an hour of recording, and I think I stop right here, and I continue to retell my favorite parts of Solo Leveling in the future lectures. And this is the end of my video 72.